I'm going to be talking about my experience with the company in like just 3 minutes. Okay, I'm a little all over the place right now. Okay, so just bear with me. Honestly, it did break my heart a little bit. I was watching Nagi go live like I don't know, like 40 minutes ago. And you know, she didn't know anything that was going on, and like she was crying. Made me feel bad. But I'm not gonna be crying here because I'm dead inside, and I can't be bothered to cry. I have done this before. I mean, this is a little different than last time, because last time I chose to leave a company that was still existing. This time, I'm choosing to leave a company which I'm pretty sure is ceasing to exist. At least don't quote me on that, but like, I mean, there's 0 members currently, so I mean, I'm just assuming. I don't know. So it's a little different this time, right? Where do I begin here? It's hard to say where to begin. The first year of me being in Vshojo was a great blast. It was awesome. Everything was so much smoother. The contract was way better than I'd ever had from anything, right? I was very happy. The problem for me kind of started arising the second year. The second year, everything started being a little bit more disjointed. Of course, I'm trying to be careful with what I say here, of course. The second year, you might have noticed that there wasn't as much Vshojo collaborations, like full group collaborations. Everyone kind of started doing their own thing, and like not really doing stuff associated with like the name of Vshojo. It was more like their own thing. Did you guys notice that on the second year I was in? That's not a coincidence, you know. There's been stuff, right, going on. But the thing is, I guess the one thing I'd say is just a lot of empty promises. You might say, so obviously we didn't know about how dire this situation was until very, very recently, right? However, there were problems, right? And the thing is, I feel like a lot of people on the internet, especially in this like VTuber sphere, are very stupid and immature, in the sense that when they hear being part of a company and they're like, oh my god, company has bad side, then they just go onto the, then why the hell are you still in the company type of shit, right? The reason why a lot of us, well, I don't want to speak for everyone, but definitely for some people, including me, to stay, before knowing about this charity thing, by the way, this is before any of that, but for that extra year, it's because we had meetings. We had meetings with Gun and other people talking about like what we don't like and what we want to see improved. And we were told that things were going to improve. We were told that things were going to change. We were told that our stuff was being, you know, took seriously, right? And, you know, the reason I mentioned about the immaturity of, why don't you just leave that? Because if you have a job, right, in real life, and you're not just like a fucking chronically online little bitch boy, then you know that most fucking companies have downsides, right? And it's very rare that a company will actually talk to you about their downsides and say, hey, you know what, you're right, I am going to change this in the company. So, obviously, a lot of people were giving second chances, third chances to the company, extending the period of time where they're still in here, right? Again, I have to preface this is before knowing the charity shit, right? And for everyone else's funding, I will get on to that in a bit, because I have something to say about that for myself, right? That's why a lot of people were kind of just staying to see what happens, right? Believing in the fact that things were going to improve. Obviously, I can't talk about all the things that were wrong, apart from some that were directly for me, because I've signed stuff, and so has everyone else. You may have heard on Kaeson's stream, you may have heard that she wasn't paid, what was it, since, like, December, I think, last year? Or something like that? Or September last year. Okay. September last year, right? Now, we receive our money directly to our, like, us for, like, Twitch, right? Like Twitch, YouTube, anything like that. The only thing that we don't receive is merchandising and sponsors. And so you might be like, oh, okay, well, that's fine, right? That's fine. Because, like, you know, you have to rely on them to pay you for your merchandise and sponsor money, but at least you still get, like, all your main income, right? The thing is, a lot of streamers, they make more money from doing sponsors and merch than actually streaming. And I feel like not many people understand that, right? So sponsors bring in a very big amount of a streamer's income. That's why so many streamers do try to aim for, like, a monthly sponsor that just gets them through the whole month or the next 2 months, right? Sponsors are very big, so not being paid them for a long time is kind of a problem, you know? Because it's a big chunk of your income, right? The thing that Kaeson should be referring to, I don't want to speak for her, but should be referring to is the fact she hasn't been paid for sponsor money and merchandising, right? Because we get paid for, like, Twitch and YouTube ourselves. Like, there's no Vshojo involved. Like, that goes directly to whatever bank we've set up, right? So yeah, and I just wanted to make sure you guys know that is a big deal. It is a big deal. So she hasn't been paid since what, September? I'm gonna tell you guys a little funny little fact. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a little funny fact. You guys remember when I debuted in 2023? I sold a bunch of merch. I think I had, like, a shirt, acrylic stand, like, some other stuff, right? It was my debut merch, right? I debuted in 2023. Yeah? I got paid for that in June 11th. June 11th. This year. I got paid for that merch from 2 years ago. Last month. And that's a fact. That is a straight fact. I got paid for it. Not from last year, like from 2 years ago when I debuted. I just got paid for it last month. And that is a fact. That is a fact. And I had Maiko really helped with this. He really pushed for getting this. Maiko made a whole spreadsheet, right? Because there was no other things accounting for this. So big W's to Maiko. Maiko is the GOAT, and he was able to get me paid. But I wasn't paid for that first merch and a bunch of other ones. But I think the main thing to keep in mind is that first merch was 2 years ago. That debut merch is 2 years ago, guys. It's 2 years ago. It was fucking October, like 2023. Do you know how long that is? And I'm not lying. I have all the proof, and I got paid for it last month. Yeah. So, here's the thing. A lot of members are going to say this, and they probably have already said this. It feels really stupid to, you know, defend the company for all the stuff. Like, because we didn't know about all this stuff, right? Like, I knew that... What is it? How do I explain this? I was missing... or I didn't know that I was missing that merchandise payment, right? Because Vshojo doesn't pay merch monthly. They pay it quarterly. And if you're a streamer who, like, for the first year of me streaming as K9 Kuro, I was streaming, like, daily for that first year, for a while, right? I was streaming a lot. And if you're a streamer who streams a lot, especially other members who stream way longer, you're trusting your like company or whoever's in charge of your financials to get it right, right? And you're not checking it all the time. You're not checking all the time to make sure every single thing is correct and you're getting paid for every single thing, especially if it's quarterly, right? So I didn't pay attention to that. And by the time that I started like slowing down on streaming after around a year, you know, that was a whole year ago. So I thought, oh, that's already accounted for, right? Because who the fuck looks at that after a year and then you're like, oh, you know what? I should check if I was paid for the first merchandise I had when I debuted, right? You don't think about that. But it feels really fucking stupid and really almost humiliating to, you know, say all the things that I've said about the company, right? Like, because it's like betrayal, right? It's like, I glazed you, bro! And the thing is, guys, then this is my personal opinion. They have, their contract was way better than I'd ever had, right? For something. I still stand by that fact. But the problem is, if you can't fucking provide what the contract says, then the contract means nothing. I'm sorry, that's just how like, it doesn't, it's just like fluff. It's just false words at that point. Like, I don't know. That's how I feel, personally. Like, I still stand by what I said before, where I said that this was like, oh, way better contract than I ever had, and things are going nice in that sense, but it wasn't really fulfilled. So, like, you know, what the hell then? Once I found out about the charity thing, once I found out about that, I immediately started talking about, I was like, bro, no, I'm out. Like, it's weird as well, because a lot of people in Vshojo, like I said, we started doing our own thing. Everyone was doing their own thing, right? And, obviously, no one's really communicating with each other that they have problems with their financials. You know what I mean? Because it's their business, right? It's their financials, like other talent, right? It's like my own business. Oh, my payment got delayed? Okay, I gotta, like, I guess that's my business, right? So we weren't communicating this with each other. You know, like, obviously some people would say stuff every now and then, but it wasn't like all the time communicating, like, make sure each one of you all get this. Like, let's make sure they stick to this, because we weren't like that, right? So once this happened, everyone started coming forwards internally, being like, the fuck? Me too, right? You know? It's like, wait, what the fuck? You too? And that's when everyone kind of mutually decided, it feels, to be like, all right, nah. And then the charity was like the fucking icing on the cake, bro. It was like, if there was even a shred, even a 0.001%, it's gone after that. You don't fuck with charity, dude. And the thing is, I mean, dude, I can't say everything I want to say, of course, but hypothetically, if a company, hypothetically, that isn't real, took a bunch of that money and then didn't pay it to charity, that is hypothetically, very hypothetically illegal. And not something that I want to be a fucking witness to, hypothetically, right? So, listen, man, I don't want to be like a fucking accomplice in this shit, hypothetically. Hello? Hell no! So I'm out. I know that there's been a lot going on, but I was actually supposed to get my termination contract before Mousy had posted that. I had a meeting, like 10 days ago, or more, way more, actually, 12, I don't even know. And I told them, like, I want to leave, I don't agree with any of this stuff, and I want to go, and they were like, we can get that done, like, in a day, like, and I was like, okay. And then the next day passed, and then another day passed, and then another day passed, and I didn't get my contract, and I was like, okay. Let's see how many days it passed, right? Let me tell you guys. And I get there was a lot going on, but it just, it fueled my anger a little bit, just because, like, the thing is, guys, I don't ask for much in the company. Like, out of every single person in this company, I think I've probably asked the least. This is the one thing I fucking asked. I just asked, can I have my termination contract? They said yeah, in like the next day or the day after, and I ended up waiting like 10 to 11 days with no message, right? And it's like, listen, I have nothing against the guy that was sorting it, right? The guy that was sorting it, fine, whatever. I know there's a lot going on, but I'm just saying that it is very aggravating to kind of be like left along continuously to like, when I was told that it would be done like right away, right? Like, yeah, exactly. I want to be respected. Exactly. It's like, I've never even asked for anything, you know? And it's just a little bit of a fuck you that it took that long. It's like, really? Like, I never ask for anything, bro. Ever. And this is the one thing I ask, and it takes like more than 10 days when you promised it would be done in a day. Because the thing is, guys, for my like leaving contract, I didn't even ask for anything special. You know, a lot of people they're like negotiating and stuff. Like, you know, get your most worth. Make sure you're safe, right? I didn't even do that. I didn't even fucking negotiate. I said, like, this is what I think. These are the terms. Do you agree? They're like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, okay. And that's it. Just give me the fucking termination contract. I'm gone, right? I didn't ask for anything special, so it's not like they had to do anything. Like it's not like they don't have these already, you know? Oh, but I get it. There was a lot of other people also wanting to do that shit or whatever. But well, no, I don't know. No, I don't think so, because a lot of people, some people didn't even know about this until Mousy dropped that, which was 10 days later. So, like, no, I don't think it is that they were processing a lot of people, because, like, bro, dude, I had to ask for that like 10 days in advance. Like, what? Whatever. Anyway, I just want to say, I personally am not the biggest fan of Vshojo, but it's like I said when I left my last job, okay? Just because that I may not be fond of some things doesn't mean that every single person involved in there I don't fuck with, okay? Like, there have been a lot of people who worked in Vshojo or still currently like trying to fucking run around and be like, what the fuck is happening? There are still people in there that are good people, right? So I just want to make that clear, okay? When I say I don't really fuck with it much, I'm saying like the thing as a whole, not the individuals, except for maybe some, but most individuals, right? Most of them didn't betray me. I like updated my business email like 4-5 hours ago on Twitter, right? I updated it, and I have someone like that looks through it for me. I literally like gave them the access to look through and shit, and they literally messaged me and they were like, dude, you just changed it, right? Like, I was like, yeah. I'm like, only on Twitter, right? I was like, yeah. And they're like, dude, you got like 2 offers. One is for like a like convention. And I was like, what? Already? So we're already locked into a convention. So literally, guys, me leaving, it's like nothing changed, really. Like, I got new merchandising people, and I'm still getting like, you know, all the offers I got before. So literally, I'm just chilling, honestly. The only thing is, like, of course, there are so many people affected by this, and fucking stealing money from charity is not a joke, okay? And I know I sound like I'm not like super sad. I have been. I'm just trying to be a little bit more positive, because everyone is fucking sad right now. Everyone's sad. Everyone is screaming. Everyone's like taking the time off. I haven't streamed consistently in 3.5 weeks. As you guys, if you're a regular viewer, you know, I haven't. So I've had a lot of time to sit in the fucking corner of my room and be like, ah! So, you know, I've had my time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of done with corporations for a little while, you know? I'm kind of done joining them. I think I'm just gonna chill as an indie. All right, I haven't tasted the indie like seawater, you know. I haven't tasted it, man. Yeah, I am my own company. Exactly. What's gonna happen to Vshojo and the rest of the members and the new members that signed up? What is Vshojo? I don't know what that is. Is that a thing that exists? I don't know what you're saying to me. I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, it never happened. I don't even know what that is. Like, what? I've been a part of what for 2 years? No. I've been just streaming on my own for 2 years. What are you talking about? Huh? The fuck? You're confusing me. Vshojo, you mean Hatsune Miku? Yeah, I've been streaming under the Hatsune Miku company.